Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
How are you, sweetie?
How you doing? Mwah. Thank you,
Don't know
thank
if
you,
you
thank
know
you.
it,
Look
but
at this.
you're starting off your birthday today.
It's early,
Happy
early.
Birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, the birthday's Wednesday.
Right, right.
And I probably won't see you till Thursday on the boat ride.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just have a little something for you today. So
No, thank you.
happy-
Thank you.
I love the
As
shirt.
soon as I walked in, the first two people I saw, my very dear friends, Sid and Nettie. And I'm sitting going, why are you here? I mean, really, no, they are. They're always away. They're living a great life, a life that I wish I could live.
Me too.
You know what I mean? But they're always away, sending pictures of them having drinks on the beach.
Yeah,
So,
and
guys,
different
thank you,
hairdos.
thank you, thank you.
She has a
I'm tell-
different hairdo everywhere
And
she
she's
goes.
beautiful. She has to. She's got to keep up with the Kardashians. Well, what's not the Kardashians? I'm saying Kardashians. What is it? The Atlanta. What's the real?
Joneses?
Is it the Joneses?
Keep up with the Joneses?
Yeah, I don't even really watch all of that stuff, but yeah.
Well, they're
Yeah,
one
so-
beautiful couple. I love them to death, and they're always watching. They're great fans. And you would be surprised how many people are away in July. Because
Yeah,
a
you
lot
don't-
of
you
people
don't have to tell me.
have regrets. I got 1,000
I know
emails
that.
that
I
they
know.
couldn't
I
come
know.
today.
I know. Well,
But-
I didn't expect you to do anything.
Yeah, well, too bad. You know it doesn't matter what you want.
Yeah, I know that.
That's what I want.
We're fully aware of that.
But anyway, how are you?
Good, 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 good.
Yeah, I was at the Volpe room last
Right.
night at Fox Hollow.
How was
and I
it?
find out our guest was there. And I didn't even see him to have a drink with him. We were both in the same place at the same time, and I didn't know it.
I had no idea.
Christopher Saluti,
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Bold
welcome.
Magazine. What's the name
That's
of your
right,
book?
that's right.
The college admission.
The college admission book. I mean, how do we know each other? 3 years, Brockville Center Party.
Yeah.
Everything. His dad, you know his dad. He works for the town.
Is what now?
His dad works for the town of Hempstead. He's the inspector.
Oh,
Yeah, I
is
think
he?
he knows you.
I
Right?
know
him.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
yeah. Happy birthday,
Yeah,
by the way.
thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah, I
thank
think
you, thank you.
Dad was inspecting something and said,
My
"What do you do?"
bathroom.
Yeah.
That's how
Right,
I
that's
met
right.
him. Well,
Yeah.
as all these people were ringing my bell and coming in, and he's like, well, "What do you do?" His father.
Right.
I'm like, "Come here, and I'll
And
show
you said you're crazy.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
and
a
then
given.
And then he said, "So is my son."
And then he said, "You must meet my son," and that's how it happened 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
And you put me in your magazine with
did.
my book,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
I was even in the magazine.
That's
Yes,
right. That's
you
right. That
were.
was he looked good. He looked
He-
sharp.
oh, he's
thank
good
you,
looking.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank
and
you.
then Geneva meets him, and Geneva's modeling everywhere. So,
Have you had Geneva on the show?
oh yeah, but
Yes,
she's
yes.
she's gonna stop by. Hopefully,
Oh, is she?
you might
Okay,
get
yeah,
to see
hopefully
her.
I'll see her. I'm seeing. I'm having
And
lunch
she's
with
a
my brother
plus size
soon.
woman that never did it before, and now she's getting picked by designers to model clothes.
That's awesome.
She's
That's
having a
great.
blast. So
for her.
you made a lot of things happen with
That's
me
right.
together.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, but the article on Gregg was
Yeah,
fabulous.
it's one of my favorites.
No,
you know
thank
what
you.
No, no problem. It was a pleasure. I think what people don't realize is the energy that you bring to a lot of you.
Oh.
What the energy that you bring to a lot of events and places and people, even if you're not, I know how everyone struggles to be an entrepreneur, but even if you're not making a dollar at that moment, the energy that you're bringing makes other things happen.
Yeah, because it happens. It trickles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really does.
And it's one of the greatest things. We were just talking with your next guests about young folks and helping young folks just be their best selves, and you don't realize the impact that you're going to have on somebody's life when you're giving them advice or when you're getting them the connection or when whatever it is that you're doing. So it's wild to see all the connections that you have.
Yeah. Well, it's so good to see you. I wish
to
you were
see you as well.
staying.
I know.
So how long are you here?
I'm only here for a couple days. So I was at a wedding last night. A good friend of mine. I mean, since age 13, he got married at the Fox Hollow, and I was in the wedding party. So I said, okay, I'll fly in. And I scheduled some work. I work for a big staffing company, and so I said, okay, I can meet with some employers and some universities. And then I knew I was going to see you for a little bit, and I met a couple of other folks for Bold as well. So I tried to make it as productive as possible. You said offline that I'm always busy. It's a sickness. I've literally not slept for 5 days.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
always were like that.
Yeah, but
Always.
you're like that. You're like, I'm the same way.
It's a millennial thing, I
Yeah.
think. You know what I mean? And we'll call you a millennial too.
All right,
for,
thank
for
you.
the time
Make me
being.
feel,
Yeah.
make me feel real good.
Because we were soccer and we were this and we were mathletes and whatever, and nobody ever taught you to slow down.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And that's part of. We'll get to it at some point.
So
but
what do you call me then?
you're
I'm not a
fossil.
millennial.
A fossil.
So I'm an elder millennial. We'll call you an elder millennial.
An
How's
I didn't say that, did I?
Elder millennial.
didn't
How's
say
that?
that. I'm
How's
sorry.
that? Yeah, she missed it. I think.
Yeah, I
Happy
know she
birthday.
did. That's
You
it. That's
got a
right. No,
little
she
grace.
missed it. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, you got a little grace. But yeah, so it's been busy, but it's been fun. I'm seeing my brother for lunch today, and then I teach later, and then I'll go home tomorrow.
So where are you teaching later?
So I teach. It's online. It's at a university called Kaiser. Great university. Friend of a friend set it up. I was the dean of a small university.
Well, you were here, a dean too.
Yes.
In Long Island.
And actually, I would never badmouth any university in specific, but higher education in general is at a place at this country where I think we're not doing our best service for young folks.
Oh, I agree with
And
that.
so I did some soul searching, and I said, you know what, maybe I need to go back to corporate for a little bit and just adjunct for a little bit so that I can actually touch students again and talk to students.
Well, as long as you're adjuncting, and
Right.
you're not going into corporate politics.
Right.
You're better off.
Yeah, because then you get to actually help, right? So I'm
Yes.
adjuncting at one university and I'm back in corporate, and I find that I just was texting with a student who had to buy the book, and I said, don't worry about it, it's gonna be fine, we'll figure it out. It's much different than when you're an administrator high up there and you don't get to see, you don't get to see the student.
Hey, we just got another visitor. Hi, Bruce. Hi. How are you? Nice to see you. It's been a while. It's Greg's birthday today.
Not that you can't notice. How are you?
You look good in your white shirt. Have a cup of coffee. So this is great. So
Yeah.
you're doing still 1,000 things.
Trying to do 1,000.
So
By the way,
is there a woman in your life or what? I know there usually is.
if I
Don't put him on the spot like that.
But-
You see what I'm talking about?
if I say
Okay.
one, they won't know which one
Right.
it is.
That's-
No, actually, believe it or not, actually, I'm very open. I'm very transparent. I'm 37, and I'm ethically non-monogamous. So I speak to whoever I date, and I say, this is how it's going to go, and I'm going to be transparent with
I
you.
like this one.
Yeah.
Give me the
This is
explanation.
good.
What is non-monogamous?
Non-mono-
No, I want the
yeah.
explanation.
Okay.
The
So,
real one.
so there's 1,001 ways, and a lot of folks are uneducated about it. We could do a whole show. I could do a series on it. I'm still learning about it because I don't like to read, so I like to speak to people. I like to listen to podcasts, and here's the way I do it. And there's 1,001 ways that you can do it, right? The way I do it is I say, this is what I want. I want a partner in my life. I do want to have kids. I want to get married. I want to do all these things. At the same time, I don't think you have to have a different kind of heart and brain. I can love two people at the same time. It's possible for some
Oh,
folks.
yeah, absolutely.
And so
I love the world.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so the way it is it's very transparent, and I say this is what's going to happen, and if I bring somebody else into my life, we'll talk about it first, but I can date and you can date, and we'll kind of figure it out. So I have a couple of folks that I'm talking to a little seriously, and hopefully that turns into a little
Maybe one,
you know,
eventually.
Yeah. Maybe a little family cool. We'll see how
Menage
that
a
goes.
trois, whatever happens.
No, I don't-
Well, you're
Hey.
always
I didn't say that. He was just saying.
no,
I
but
didn't
he's
say a
always very
word.
open about
yes. Always,
everything, and I
always.
learned a lot of words from you.
There you go.
I don't understand them all.
Thank you. I'm blushing a little bit.
You're a good doll. You really are.
Thank you.
And you're into the plus size women. Let's talk
a little
turkey
bit.
here.
A little bit.
You know, and you help a lot of plus size women.
I do, and separate, right? So you don't date where you run your magazine. But yeah, it's interesting. I just did a TikTok on it today. You know TikTok, yes?
Of course.
Okay. Well, I don't know who knows and who doesn't.
Well, we want to do it, but
You
we
should.
haven't done it
We're
yet.
gonna do a dance.
You should, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone told me for years to do it, and I hate social media and the way that we focus on it, and we do all these things. But I did a TikTok on it today, actually, because there's a lot of men out there who say, I'm body positive. They say, I'm body positive because I love plus-size women. You're not really. You love plus-size women, and that's okay, but you're also exploiting them, right? They say, oh, fat women are beautiful. Fat's a okay word.
It's a bad word, though.
It's a good
I don't
word.
like the word. I
But
like
people could still
Here's
use
the
that.
thing.
It's not,
Because skinny isn't a bad word, so why should
right.
fat
So
be a
why?
bad word?
Yeah.
because as a plus size woman, you feel fat is a crappy
But
word.
that's the whole point. Is let's take it back. So I'll use plus size for you. So men will say, I like plus size women and this and that and the thighs and the this, and I go, you're not being body positive, man. You're just being a dude. Like you're just being a guy, and you just happen to be talking about different body parts, man. And so there's a threshold between being creepy and actually empowering. So the magazines do, and we're trying to pivot because I don't feel as I didn't grow up as a plus size man. I grew up a little chunky, but even as a man, and you're the woman in the room. But Greg and I can both attest. If we were to get big, if we were to become plus size guys, women would still look at our dating profiles, at our resume. We'd have other things going for us. Unfortunately, women get into a space where they're looked at through their looks. If you hire somebody, you're always going to look at their looks, and it's terrible. It's a terrible way that we treat women.
Look what I went through.
Right.
52 interviews.
Right. And so
Yeah, but no way. Because somebody said you're fat.
No,
So
but
then what are
it
you
didn't
talking about?
help. Let's talk to
Listen,
talk
all right.
turkey
I mean,
here.
no, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You're getting hired by a young guy.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to look for that. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. And it's not
Yeah.
fair.
Right.
It's definitely not fair. And then, like I said, sometimes they'll turn around and say, listen, look, you know what? Some guys do want that nice little thing to look at every day. I mean, like I said, and she's not qualified. I remember when I had a limousine business, my partner, God rest his soul, hired this young girl, and she
didn't
I
have
mean,
it.
listen, The Rock. I think The Rock had more brains.
Right,
than
right,
her.
right, right.
But she was a pretty,
Right.
young lady, and of course, it didn't last very long.
Right.
But it's true. Not to say it's not fair.
I mean,
you know?
look, I'm over it. You know.
Yeah.
No,
I
you're
mean,
not. Still
Obviously
talking
not.
about it. You're not.
Well, because it's history. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't totally go away.
Well, it molds you, right? And so that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out what my voice is going to be in the magazine because I didn't live that. I wasn't discriminated based on my size ever, right? I'm an intelligent guy, and people will look at that. But as a woman, you can be intelligent, you can have all these things, and you're still one of the factors is always going to be what you look like, right? If you look at Wall Street, for example, all the stockbrokers on Wall Street, right? If you're a woman, you're an attractive woman, right? And so that's what we're trying to figure out what I'm going to say in the magazine going
But
forward.
you have introduced women that are very
Yes.
attractive
Yes.
and shown how they could change
Yes.
based on color,
Yeah.
you know, different kinds of things you wear, and also sexy stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I don't do that way, but, you know.
No,
I,
not- you
I
and
told
Patrick, no?
him I would only model my nails and my face. That's it.
And your what was the second?
My nails and my face.
In your face, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Well,
not into walking on any
Let me be
runways.
clear. I didn't proposition Valentina to model for anything sexy.
No.
I don't anyway. But I just want to be clear in public that that's not what I asked Valentina to do.
I'm just kidding you, honey. No, you're great.
Yes, so
I
yeah.
love the day that he came to my house to actually do my book. And he took the camera and he took all the pictures of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
book and where I do my work, and then the story was quite nice.
Well, you know what's cool about your story is that, and that's what I like to do with the magazines. Is I like to showcase folks who are more than just attractive, right? What kind of depth do you have? And I look for that personally and professionally, right? What are you going to do that brings you depth? And Valentina has I don't know if I'd call it your second career, your third career, whatever it is, right? But
What is it, Gregg?
right? Number
Just love.
Yeah, Baker's dozen, whatever, right? 13, right? And so she opens up the trunk of her car, right? And she goes,
God.
let me show you my office. And what are you talking about? And she's got the books, and she's got the flyers, and she's got, here, may I for a second?
Yeah.
And she's got the stack of bookmarks in the trunk, and all the
Got
things.
everything in
Everything.
there. When I say everything, everything.
But here's the thing, we were talking about generations for a second. You would think that hustle comes from a 20-year-old. But you know what? The 20-year-old doesn't even have that hustle.
Right. That's
Because they
very
don't know
true.
yet
Right,
how to do
right,
that. They don't
right.
know how hard it is to build that. And
That's
you know
true.
because you've done it all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it was,
based on the jobs I've had.
yeah, it was brilliant. I enjoyed that afternoon. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, you're a great guy. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you're still part of our mix.
Absolutely.
And oh, look who else came in
Hey, hey,
today.
hey, what's up,
Hello
guys?
there,
What's up,
another
guys?
visitor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
no,
did already. We're starting already. We
yeah,
started already. Yeah, it's all good.
Come
Come
on.
give me a card. Come give me a
Come
card.
on
No
in.
problem.
Say hello.
Come right across. Why not? There you go.
How are you, honey?
So much. Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing? Okay, have a coffee.
I want to say this is the most Long Island podcast I've ever. And I'm from Long Island. I now live in Nevada.
And you
but,
say it like me, Long
yeah,
Island.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I've never on a radio show. Come on in, have a coffee.
Yeah, right.
We got bagels.
Yeah.
Put a
You
schmear-
You got
not even-
everything.
there's not
Hello,
even-
Miss Bonnie.
Yeah.
How are you, love?
Hey, and
Well,
look
come on.
who-
Why not? Don't stop
Come
now.
on in, Bonnie.
Why?
Another
Listen,
talk
how are you,
show
my love?
host, Bonnie
How are you,
Scalisi.
my love? Thank you,
Bonnie
thank you,
will be
thank you.
here tonight.
Look at this. That's right. Tonight.
Tonight there's a comedy
It's
show
a great
here.
comedy show.
Oh, awesome.
Bonnie and Mandy. It's a
Thank-
great comedy
thank you
show.
for coming,
You
Bonnie.
can't miss it.
Well, this is great. Just so you're
Yeah.
finding a lot of things about you. So now you're going to be
Wow.
helping the colleges, and you're
Yes.
also doing staffing.
Yeah, so I work for a big company that we help students who, when they've graduated college, we put them through a tech boot camp, and I help place them. So my job is to find employers who want to find young folks.
Is it everywhere or just in
Oh, no,
Las Vegas?
we're all over,
oh,
the,
I
we're
got
all
a
over
kid
the world.
For you.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, we were just talking about it with some of your other guests, and how I don't think. I think young folks do need a little bit of a push, but they also need a little bit of help, right? It's a different world than it was back then. You talk to folks, and I love my father, but he goes, "Well, I don't get it. You're a doctor. Why don't you make $1 million?" That's not how it works anymore. You need guidance, and you need everything. And so the book that I just came out talks about that. It talks about, it's called The College Admission. Do you need to go to college? And if you do, what are the finances like? Do you look for a scholarship? Do you play sports? Do you get it? Is a 4.0 GPA but no sports more valuable than a 3.5 and you're the president of the class, right? Like all those types of things. Because I think that there's too much out there and kids are getting lost. and they want to be TikTok stars, and they want to own the makeup
That's right,
brand, and they
that's
want to
right,
do these
that's
things.
right. Well, it's a lot easier that way. I mean,
Right.
I swear to you.
Yeah.
Than to really having to go out there, study, go home every day, study,
Yeah.
take an exam, whatever. But look, you think about it. There's one girl everybody knows. It's Charlie. Oh, this girl I don't know on TikTok. Nope. Is it there? It's there. What? Okay. Is it there? Good. Okay. One of these TikTok stars, Charlie something.
Okay.
And I'm looking at this girl, and
Yeah.
she's a young lady, and she's just doing a dance.
Yeah.
And this dance
That's it.
got her 2 million
Right.
followers.
Right.
Wait, my daughter was telling me she was crying when she had 900,000 followers that she didn't make 1 million followers, whatever. And she gave a whole story. She was, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter showed this to me. Her crying got her 125,000 more
Yeah.
followers.
But now,
And I'm sitting there going, what is it that you do? And they pay
Right.
her. They pay her to advertise, whatever it is.
yeah. Now, hey, there's so. Let's dissect that for a second. First of all, I don't know if you know this, but TikTok's a Chinese app, right?
Right.
In China and other countries, the algorithm is so different. What they get views for are engineering ideas,
right,
all
right.
that are intelligent thoughts. We get views for talking about sex and shaking and booty and all this
Right.
stuff because they know that that's what we like, and
Right.
also that it's not a rap, right? But so this girl's gonna make 2 million views, right? I just watched the video. You ever watch these kids, the Island Boys? I'm an Island Boy. You know those kids, right?
Yes.
Broke. They're
They're broke?
Broke.
Really?
I just watched it this morning.
You're
It was
kidding
after
me.
my coffee. And so they owe their manager 150,000. They don't have the money because, and now I'm repeating what he said, so don't cite me for that. But they tried to take a very simple thing. They're not very talented. Let's be real about it. And they tried to turn it into a lifestyle and a brand and a career, and you can't. So to your point, yes, it is more challenging to go and study and focus and make yourself more deep. But you know what? If you're an accountant or an engineer, or you buy a nightclub with a mortgage and you own the land or whatever, you're gonna have a career for the rest of your life, right? Versus I'm a TikTok, I'm a YouTube, I'm a
Right.
Instagram. And you
Kinda
know what?
short-lived.
Yeah, and I need plastic surgery to keep up, or I need to lose weight or gain weight or whatever. And it's like, maybe you should focus on a little bit more. Write a book, do more.
That's it.
Well, writing a
I
book
agree.
is the best thing, you know.
100%.
You met us, you met Stephanie, and
Yes.
you got your book done.
She's wonderful.
She's the
Absolutely wonderful.
greatest. We work very close together.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now more about the book. Like, where could they get it? How do they buy
Yep.
it?
So right now it's on Amazon, and I think Cliff had asked he's going to put it up on the screen. It's on Amazon Kindle, and I'm doing actually a promotion. If you find me on Instagram and you buy it on Kindle and you send me the receipt, when the not the real book, sorry, when the book, right, the print book comes out, I'm going to take 5 people who bought the online version, and I'm going to sign a copy and I'm going to send them one.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
That's good.
So it's
Very
all on
nice.
Amazon, and I'm going to buy like 100 or so copies. I'll do book signings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
could
a
do
lot
it
of
for
fun.
you.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
fun. But what it is it's 10 chapters plus a prologue and all the stuff. And I take one of my students that came through one of my programs, right? Because I taught at a few schools, and then I take one of my mentors or colleagues. So I have a student, a colleague, and then a little bit about myself. And you're going to learn through some successes, through some failures. You know, I profile a kid in the book, and you're going to realize the kid is me. And when I was in college, talk about doing too much. I was the head or founder of 22 different clubs and organizations.
Oh, my
In
God.
college, great, right? Oh, look at the resume. But I had no clue what to do. Now, my father's a brilliant man. I love my dad to death, and you'll never hear me say a negative word about him. He didn't go to college. So I didn't look to him to know what to
Right,
do. I had cousins that were a little bit older, and everyone goes, oh, you know what? He's fine. He's going to be just fine. But not really. I needed some guidance, you know, and I did fine. Believe me, I do great. But, you know, I think we need to be real with our young folks about there's an infinite amount of ways that you can be successful, but that is scary as heck, right? So that's what the book does. And it gives
That's
you
great.
worksheets on how to track your progress and how to be, you know, and we talk about spirituality. One of the things that I've learned over the past couple of years from my life coach is you don't have to be 100 miles an hour all the time. I wake up, I pray, I meditate, I make my coffee every morning instead of going and buy it. It's like a ritual for me. I enjoy the process. And I sit with myself for an hour and I say, okay, what are my goals for the day? And then let's do it. And I don't think young people are doing that either.
No.
And they
You
should be.
start doing that when you're more mature.
Yeah. But maybe if they
true.
did that, they would feel, maybe if they did that a little bit, they would feel a little bit less pressure and say, one of the things that I always tell my young folks is, you know, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like the sun's going to rise tomorrow.
That's right.
Right?
Well, because you went through a lot of stuff.
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
easy for you to explain to them.
Exactly. Exactly. And young folks don't know. I remember when my father said that. He used to say, you know, I've been there before. And I was like angsty. You've never been where I've been.
Yeah, right.
You have. You have. It may have been a different time.
It was just different. It was just different.
It was a
That's all it
different
was. It was
time,
just different.
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's what I hope the book does for folks. Is I hope that it shows them. If I could say one thing to everybody, whether I work with them or they read the book, I used to roll my eyes when I was 20, and somebody who was just, and I'm 37, so if you were just 30.
You're a baby.
I know. But if you were just 30, I thought you were an old person when I was 20. And I would roll my eyes and say, what do you know? You don't know what it is like to be. I'm telling you, if you read the book or you come work with me, it's not going to change. We've been there. Just heed.
It's just
I wish
different.
that I had learned those words the first time.
Sure.
You know?
How do they buy the book? Where do they go?
You go right on Amazon.com. You could, I think Cliff's putting it up, where you just go type in Christopher Salute, the college admission on Amazon. It's only $5 on Kindle, and I don't know how much the hard copy is. But like I said, if you buy the Kindle book, enter the contest. Find me on Instagram, that Professor Life on Instagram, and send me the receipt, and I'm going to pick 5 people and send them a signed copy, and I'll write you a note.
Yeah, plus aren't you an expert on all the genders and all those
Yeah.
different things that I'm learning about?
Yeah. Well, so working with Bold Bold is the plus size movement is a very liberal movement. And so because of that, there's a lot of cross section. So you may not know this, but actually the plus size movement, the body acceptance movement started in the 1970s during the civil rights movement. And so it was actually a lot of black and Latino, mostly black women saying, you don't like my body because, I'm sorry, you don't like my body because it's fat, but you also don't like my body because it's black. And so there's a lot that goes into that. Now, LGBTQ folks have gotten into it and say, not only do you not like my body because it's fat, you may not like my body because it's not what you think it's supposed to be. And so there's a lot of cross sections that go in there.
Sure.
So through that, I've learned a lot about, I mean, I've done it. I've misgendered people. I've done the wrong things. I've said the wrong things. And you learn very quickly, don't do that.
Well, I took on a
Learn
writing.
the hard way, right?
I
Yeah.
took on a writing assignment.
Yeah.
And I got in doo-doo, remember?
I do remember
With the
that.
editor.
Yeah.
And she said, you're not
Yes.
doing it, because
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
understand.
Right.
And then you educated me.
But you know, here's the problem with a lot of what we do as folks in all those arenas, right? Obama said it best. He's a brilliant guy. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, he was a brilliant guy. And he said it in only his very very soft voice. We get into these comment sections or we get on video and somebody's trying really hard, and instead of educating them, we attack them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Instead of just saying, you know what,
That's right.
Valentina, can I talk to you for a second? You said this, and I'm because there's maybe 1% of the world that's evil, right?
Right.
Adolf Hitler is evil, okay?
Right.
But not everybody's like that. You had good intentions. Here's what you said. If you're going to talk about this topic, would you just now? If you say "f off,"
Right.
then
Well,
you're
now
evil.
you open it. Now,
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
you
right.
open up.
But who would say that? You
Right.
would say, "I'm so sorry. Let me." Now, you know what I do is I don't apologize, because if I messed up, I did it with good intentions. So I'll say thank you,
right.
For
You
telling
weren't
me.
malicious, right?
Yeah,
You weren't
yeah.
malicious. You weren't
Yeah.
going right.
and now I'll fix it. You know.
Right. Right. Well, that's great, and you're very helpful.
Thank you.
The
I try
last
to
thing
be.
I learned was I did not know this. When I was younger, and my uncles would say that person, like, oh, the queer.
Yeah.
I found out that's okay now.
So queer used to be a bad word in the LGBTQ community, and now again,
But they
like
changed it.
that, we're taking
Yeah.
queer back.
Yeah.
Because think about it, right? Look, okay, so straight is straight,
Yeah, but you couldn't call a female a queer.
but now you can.
called it.
Yeah.
But
Back then.
back then,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was But even that, you weren't even queer. It was
Right.
just trying to be like the word faggot they use.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
They
that's
didn't-
still not a go.
That's
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
None of them are.
Yeah, right,
I'm not
right.
saying it, but
Yeah.
the words that were used, you said it to a straight guy. You didn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
say to,
Well,
you know what I
'cause
mean?
It
And
meant
that's
so
just
much
the way,
more,
right?
But now, with the way that we are with genders, if I'm not straight, I feel like very few people are probably all the way straight. Now there's demisexual and sapiosexual, all these different.
Pansexual.
Right,
What the hell is a
everything. Yeah,
pansexual?
What the hell is that? I don't know.
Isn't that
Yeah.
a guy
What's
who
a
just say
pans-
a guy or female, whatever? If they change transsexual, if they change whatever, then you like them as
Pansexual really means if I vibe with you, I'm gonna vibe with you.
What does
And
that
if-
mean?
It means
But
if I-
that's just regular life.
yeah.
That's just regular
Yeah.
life. If you vibe
Yeah.
with someone,
If
male
I-
or female,
yeah,
right? You
yeah.
just
If I love you, I love you, right? So, like for example, I get a lot of folks who message me because I'm not very smart, but I seem very smart on
You
social
are
media.
smart. You've done so much.
Thank you. But I get a lot of folks in my DMs. The things that I get in my DMs are ridiculous, but a lot of them say I'm a sapiosexual, which also means I'm attracted to somebody who's
Smart.
who's
Yeah,
very
yes,
smart.
yes.
And I say, no, sometimes I.
I like
Okay, what's
that
your
word,
number?
Sapiosexual.
But
Boy,
most
that's
of
a new one
yeah.
for me. I never heard of a sapiosexual.
Most of the time, I typically say thank you for the support, and I appreciate you, and I'm just not looking for that from my DMs at the moment. But there's so many. So being queer, to your point, Greg, it could be anything. It could be because if somebody's gay or lesbian, right? That doesn't mean that they're always that way. They might have
They flip-flop.
They could change depending on who they vibe with.
So they have to change their wardrobe a lot.
So now we just say queer. Why did
Change that wardrobe a lot.
Well, you know,
Talk
if
about
you're going to get...
cross-dressing now. You're talking about cross-dressing.
No, because if you're going to get hot with somebody, you know,
This is why we're
you
here.
need different
This is
kind
why
of
we're here.
underwear. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love. Can you have me?
You
back
don't
on
wear
the show,
bloomers,
please?
right? You wear
Yeah.
bloomers, right?
Yeah.
You wear bloomers.
Bloomers.
You wear bloomers.
What's what they
You
called
wear
it when
underwear,
I was
you know.
young.
I love it.
I don't do the thong thing, that's for sure.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have you.
Wow,
I'm gonna have
what
you
a
on my
sight
show.
that is right
Okay.
there. Look at
We're
it. Look
gonna
at
talk
this.
Okay. Well, we're so
Thumbs.
glad you came. I hope I get to see you before you leave. If
I
you
hope so
have
too.
20 minutes,
Yeah,
call me.
Yeah, I will call you. And if not, we'll
I want
schedule
to
a
bring
call.
you to the new spa that opened up. You see the Soul
The
Caves
salt spa.
in
Oh,
Levittown.
It's beautiful. It's
I love
We
that.
just did it on
Really, really
Saturday.
beautiful,
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
Self-care is key.
So again, your website,
Yes.
your information.
Yeah, so you could find, and I think Cliff's put it up. You could find the book on Amazon. It's the College Admission, and if honestly everything's on my Instagram. So if you just go to that Professor Life on Instagram, you'll have the whole list of things that I do. And if you need help in any way, I'm here for you. And I know we're going to talk a bit more about.
Yeah,
You know, you'll
and
have
connect me
yeah.
to that lady. And
Yeah.
you're the one that made me Tina Valentina official on Instagram, remember?
That's right.
When I
that's
first
right,
started
that's
working with
right.
you.
So we'll talk. You'll be on my show too.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
anytime. So call me if you stay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Maybe
ma'am.
somebody will make you stay. You never know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Here, you forgot
Take
your
it.
Italian
Thanks
bread.
again. Thanks again.
Everybody gets
I
Italian
see
bread on
that.
the
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Greg.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks
thank
for
you,
coming,
thanks again.
really. All
While
right.
we're doing this, while we're doing that,
Come
I
on
gotta-
down, ladies. Here, and then
Please come
Greg's
have a
going to
seat.
get started
And
here.
while you're getting situated, today is All-American Pet Photo Day, National 7-Eleven Day, National Blueberry Muffin Day, National Cheer Up the Lonely Day, and Mojito Day. That's a good day. And the Rainier Cherry Day. What's the Rainier Cherry Day? I don't know, but I don't really need to find out. But anyway, we have some pretty important birthdays. Rosemarie Farrow, she's 75 years old
And
today.
she's works behind the set
Yep,
here. You know
yep,
Rosemary.
yep,
And she couldn't be here today because she's celebrating her own birthday.
Yep,
On
yep.
in some big restaurant in the sky in the Long Island City. I don't know where it
Okay,
is.
okay.
So, but
And then-
she wishes you a happy birthday.
Thank you. And then we have two belated birthdays, which is Brianna giving you a big shout out. She just turned a big 21. And I know she was going to the casino. She goes, I just can't wait. Well, I think she had to go to the liquor store because she was so happy that she was waiting for them to say, can I have your ID? You know what I mean? So, happy birthday. And Marianne wishing you happy birthday. There's two Mariannes wishing happy birthdays. Both of you guys, I love you. I miss you. Hopefully I'll get to see you on a boat ride. And then we have Christian and Katrina. Congratulations, you're having a baby. The baby is due hopefully on my birthday on Wednesday.
Oh,
If
wow.
not, just rush it. And if it's a boy, name it Gregory. If it's a girl, name it Gregoria. I'll give you a beautiful envelope, I promise. And someone I really, really got to give a big shout out to is Brian Hogan. I'm giving you a big shout out. Brian and I go back when his older brother plays for the NFL, and they played together, my son and his brother. And Brian and I, we really had a crazy time years back.
Good.
And he's just an amazing, and I'm really, really proud of him for, everybody goes through a little struggle, and this guy came through with flying colors. So Brian, big shout out, and a big shout out to your mom, Donna. Donna, I'm waiting to play tennis with you one of these days. She's a great tennis player. And your dad, God rest his soul, I know he's watching over you, so giving you a big shout out. And welcome.
Hi, Gregg. How are you?
How are you, lovely?
So we have our two lovely women here from the Long Island Opera, who I met so nicely through Eddie Sessa, who is
Right.
our performer who we adore. So I'd like to introduce Isabella Eredita Johnston, director of the Long Island Opera and executive founder, right? You founded
The founder, right, and it's Opera Night Long Island,
Opera Night Long Island.
and we've been an organization since 2004.
Well, I'm so happy to have you. We're going to talk a lot. And then I have this other beautiful lady here, Bernadette Beaudreau, which I love the way you say your name. It's
Okay,
Beaudreau. And I understand you are the diva, the opera singer, and you just are like the first lady of opera.
Well, of an opera company.
Of an
Yes.
Not anymore.
Yes, but
Past
I
tense.
looked at your information and like, whoa. gorgeous photos and beautiful voice, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
you're going
I-
to sing a 2 minute something for us while you're here. But
Those days are over.
Those
Yes.
days are over? Okay.
but we met because of networking, and we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about what you're trying to do. Understand that you had a problem since the pandemic with
Yeah.
people coming out, which everybody has experienced. So I'm going to let you start, and let's talk about it.
Oh, wait. I just forgot. This, naturally, I always do the
technical.
national days, the shout outs. I have
okay.
to give quick shout outs to Ray. I have to give Ray, Louis C. I got to give you a big shout out. Melissa, Susan Pinky, how are you, honey? You are missed. Jenny A, Jenny C, Stacy, Karen, Hannah, how are you? How you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. Helen Ford, Helen Lynn. Okay, we have Ellen. Thank you for the wishes. By the way, everyone, thank you for all the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Kim, Steve, Nick, how are you, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while. I wish you'd come down, of course, so she'll hit your car like I always say. Robin, giving you another shout out. Fred, Eliza, how you doing? We're looking forward to the boat ride. Geraldine, Pat, Melanie, and I know I'm missing a few others, but anyway, let's get back.
Let's get back to you, Isabella. I love your name too.
Oh, thank
Has
you.
a song to it. Isabella.
Isabella. I was named after my grandmother, and at the time, Isabella was not a very common name at all, and now it's quite popular.
Right.
Actually, it
Well,
was
Queen Isabella.
Queen Isabella, yes. Isabella Rossellini, of course. Yeah. And now it's popular, but not when I was a child. Izzy was my nickname, and I think I took that name with me throughout college.
Did you like Izzy?
No,
Why?
not exactly.
I know two
Izzy.
Izzy's today.
My parents hated it. My mother would always call me Bella. Yeah.
For
Well,
beautiful,
that's
yes,
nice,
for
yes.
beautiful.
But I want to thank you for inviting me here, and Bernadette and Bernadette, and happy birthday to you, Gregg.
Thank you.
Yes, we're reopening after being shut down over 2 years due to COVID. And now, I am not a singer. I wish I was, and this is probably why the group of the Opera Night series has come together. Now, I am a piano teacher, and I'm a piano accompanist. And we started as an open mic in a cafe. In the cafe was a honky-tonk piano, and my husband at the time would bring me to these open mics, which are known for in the poetry, the poets and the folk singers, and but you really don't have an open mic for opera singers. But there was an old piano, and I rounded up a few friends, and I said, bring your music, come to the cafe, and we'll sing Puccini and Verdi and whatever you want to bring. And so we did. We came back the following month, and little by little the audience grew. So there was an interest in opera. We kept going. We filled the cafe, and somebody called the, the fire department because we had too many people. And we had to move, so we moved across the street. And to this day,
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
though.
I guess it is.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I'm
Well-
sad that they called, but it was a good thing.
Yes, yes.
know?
And thankful to the Methodist Church right across the street. This is in the town of Northport. That's where we started. And people came out of the woodwork, the opera singers, the opera lovers. Now, I'm here with Bernadette because Bernadette had her own company back in the 80s and 90s called Island Lyric. And don't I know about Bernadette because my father, my Italian Neapolitan father, had such love for opera. He would make a point of it. He'd be in the front row, and he'd follow them wherever they performed on Long Island. And he had such love for opera. And so when I went with him to a few of the productions, people were just, just knocking down the walls trying to make more room for themselves so that they could hear opera. And I really took that with me. So then I went off to college. I, of course, was a pianist. And when I moved, I lived in Manhattan, and there's plenty of music there. But coming out to Long Island is a little surprising because it's so large, and yet where were the opera lovers, you know, at this point? Because Bernadette's group, I guess your company stopped its production, let's say, in the early 2000s. Yeah, and so we overlapped a little bit. Now, what we don't do full-blown operas with the exception of Puccini's Suor Angelica. So if you come to one of our concerts, you're going to hear a variety. You'll have about maybe 7, 8 singers, and they'll sing arias from Mozart operas to Puccini, Verdi. It's a lot of variety, and the singers, they're trained singers, but I mean, it's not really their profession. We have a woman who's a lawyer, we have teachers, but you do have to be trained, obviously, if you're going to be singing Puccini. So,
You know, I
yeah.
turned around when I was a kid, Pavarotti.
Yes.
To sit there, my father would listen, and I'm like, and I remember going to the Met. I was a kid, and I'm sitting and I'm watching this guy sing, not understanding one word he's saying, and I said, "Is this like a different language?" It's not. It was just the words, the way they pronounced them. I really thought it was just something totally. I mean, as a kid. And I was like, Dad, you can't even understand it. He goes, well, just look at the words and just the way. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh, the way they would sing out the one word or two,
Right.
whatever it was. It just, to me, and meanwhile, I would sit there and I'd look at some people, they had the bifocals on like this. And then you see the old men sitting there like this, sitting there drooling. And I was like, that was a really nice place to get dressed up and fall asleep. And that was like really, really expensive. And I said, boy, if anybody wants some good sleep, get dressed up in a
Well,
tuxedo
it's so-
and go to the Met.
Yeah.
Nobody bothers you. No kids running around. I think that's why it was so big back then. I don't know.
Well, I'll
You
never
know?
forget, the glasses. I always wanted a pair of those glasses. But I'm not an opera lover, but I will be coming because I'm at the stage in my life where I like trying new things. And, and I probably won't be able to understand everything because it's all in a language.
Right.
But people tell me that you cry, you smile, there's a lot of different things. So I'm definitely going to try and.
Well, that's great. Well, this is a nice introduction, really, for those that later on want to go out to the full-blown operas, because
It's a way
I
to
mean,
get started.
sometimes if you haven't been to an opera and you're sitting, especially if you go through a Wagner opera, that's another story, because that goes on for hours.
What is it, a volume?
No, Wagner.
Oh.
You have the Ring. I think it's about 6 hours long.
Oh.
Just explain that. Explain that.
Yes.
Explain
What's
that.
a Wagner opera?
Wagner, right,
Wagner.
the composer, a German composer, and yes, his operas
Okay,
are
so,
little
okay.
are
Long.
quite amazing, but
So you get some good sleep.
yet you have, you have quite a society of people that are just passionate
Really?
for this music.
And
Yeah.
they sit for
That's
6
usually
hours.
a special group of people
is
Yeah.
that love, that type of opera.
Right, so they have a following.
Then you also have the people who love the romantic languages like Italian. and
Yeah,
French.
that's what I would think I would
And,
like.
yeah, they're beautiful.
I want to cry a little bit,
Wagner is mostly German, and the German language can be, not to be insulting anybody, but can be more guttural. And so therefore
Is
singing
it harsh, you're saying?
Yeah,
Or-
like
right.
English. English
Right.
is also that type of
Right.
thing. And you have a lot of diphthongs in English, and it's pretty much in German. So the French and Italian, especially Italian, is a beautiful Romance language that just sings. I mean, as a singer, I can tell you, it's one of the easiest languages to sing.
Really?
Yes. French is a very beautiful language, absolutely beautiful. A little
She
more.
just said that because she found out I was French. She goes,
No, no,
you're
no.
Italian? She goes, yeah, I'm Italian because she goes,
No,
you got to
no,
be
no, no.
Italian because you hug. And I said, no, so French. And she's like, oh, the French part's beautiful. So now this is why she's talking about the French.
No, that's not true.
No, I'm teasing, I'm teasing, I'm
That's
teasing.
not true. French is a beautiful language, and I love the French operas. I really do. They're gorgeous. They're a little more difficult to pronounce because you have the and stuff like that, which people are just, in English we don't have that. So, but it's a beautiful, beautiful language, and the music is beautiful. Massenet's music in French is just gorgeous. And Gounod, they have some Faust. Beautiful, beautiful music. But the problem that I see with opera, and we do have a big problem here in the United States, is that people don't know anything about opera, so they assume it's something hands-off. Nobody
Right.
goes to opera. Only the very wealthy people go to opera. That's just not true.
But they didn't know.
It's a
Nobody was ever
perception.
educated for that.
That's
You know what I mean?
true.
Honestly.
That's true.
You know, a concert, everybody goes to a concert. Is it very common that, well, I'm sorry, as a kid, that's the last thing
That you wanna
that I
go
really
to.
want to go to.
Of course.
You know, you hear opera and you just hear, oh, whatever it is. I'm like, you know, you're sitting there looking at a concert and guys screaming, yelling, just say, playing drums, instrument. And here you're looking at Macbeth or whatever. I mean, it's beautiful. I appreciate it, but I appreciate it when I got older. Not when I
Right.
was young.
Yes.
And it wasn't something that your parents said, hey, listen, let's all go to the
Opera,
Met. Let's go to
right, yeah.
opera. That wasn't,
It's
you know,
true.
you'd rather go to the movies.
So
Yeah, you
you're
have to
really,
know what I mean?
behave yourself. You have to
so,
be quiet.
Yeah, then you have to
behave
be
yourself.
quiet. Then you got to play the
Right.
silent game or you get beat to death. You know, so it
what
really
happens if you
wasn't,
blow your
know,
nose?
God forbid.
So the big thing that you need in opera is you need an audience, obviously, because it's a very expensive medium. It's not cheap. And in order to get an audience, you have to have publicity, and that's why we're here today. We need people to know about it. The problem is people are afraid to go, oh God, I heard something on the radio. It's the worst thing I ever heard in my life. Yeah, maybe you heard one aria, and so you assume that every single thing in opera is
Right,
horrible. You have to start with the right operas. You know, to graduate. It's like dancing. I mean, you start with a box step and then you progress. It's the same thing with opera, and it's
But how do you know where to start when it
that's
comes
the
to that?
problem. That's the big problem. People don't know that. So they're afraid of it. And you're always afraid of what you don't know. Everybody is. I mean, you know, I recently started dancing last September, and I didn't know anything about dancing. And I was, you know, I've been on stage all my life, and I said, oh my God, I can't do
right,
dancing. It's because I didn't know it. You know, once
Right.
you know something,
Right.
you become acclimated to it.
That's very true.
It's really, it's no matter what it is. I mean, no matter what it is.
It's very true.
If you go to Russia and people look at you because you don't understand how to speak Russian, doesn't mean you're stupid. It
Right.
takes time, and you have to work at it, and that's with everything.
So now you're doing the ballroom dancing with Richard?
No.
Oh.
No.
'Cause
He
I know
does dance.
Richard
He
on
does
Taki.
dance. No, that's something. I mean, he comes occasionally.
Okay.
But no, the ballroom dancing is something that I started last September.
Good for you. You like it?
I love it.
And do you get all duded up? Because I hear they get dressed up.
All
to
duded
go-
up.
Yeah, they get
Okay.
all dressed up to go there.
And not really. I
No?
mean, you get dressed up, but not, you know,
Well,
sparkles.
I'm
That's
sure
when-
you have a lot of sparkles from being in
Yes,
opera,
yes,
right?
I do. I do.
So your wardrobe, what'd you do with it all? You still have it?
I have most of it. Yeah.
You must
I
have a
mean,
big closet.
yeah. No, it's in the attic.
It's in the
actually.
attic, okay.
The costumes are gone.
Okay.
But the wardrobe for concerts, yeah, I have a lot of that. Thank God I do, because I need it now for other things that I'm doing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's really
You're a
funny.
busy lady.
You're talking about ballroom dancing. I remember there was a show. This is something that my parents, I know I discussed this on the show in the past. Lawrence Welk.
My parents
yes,
love Lawrence.
And I was a
Welk.
kid, and my grandmother used to make me sit there and watch it.
There was the Irish tenor. He always sang.
and I got to,
right? The
and I
Irish
got to
guy.
tell you,
Irish tenor.
And the
you know,
tap
I sat
dancers
there, I sat there and I watched, you know, the whole entire show, and they had the dancing and the tap and you know, the band playing, and I said this last time, I wanted to play the drums, and my grandmother bought me an accordion. All right, that's not something that a young kid wants to really learn how to play, is an accordion.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not all
No,
that
it is
popular
beautiful.
now.
Don't get
But
me
it
wrong.
was.
I mean,
It was
okay,
very
but
popular.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
A guy like me, we were talking about before, I was short, chubby, and you really wanted to have girls like you, so you thought the drummer was always the best thing, but a big accordion, you're going like
Nah,
this.
you're not a
I don't
rock
really think,
star.
right, you're not a rock star. You know,
No.
and then on top of that, then they sent me to Fred Astaire tap school.
Oh my
All
God.
right, so what is that telling you? I mean, so
They were trying to make you.
I
into
don't know what they were
something
trying
you
to do. I don't know. It was a little bit on the
So the
rough side.
so
but
the first night is July 14th this week.
Yes. Now July 14th is Thursday night. We're going to be at the Suffolk Y Community Center, and we have about 9 singers. And once again, we have a variety of music. So you're not going to get just one opera. You're going to get arias from a a wealth of operas. And this is, again, getting back, it's
This is
just
the first time you're trying to bring it back,
in
right?
Comac, yes. We're sort of opening up slowly in other towns. Originally, we were based in Northport, so last month we were in Northport, and the month before in Huntington. Now we're in Comac. We'll be in Douglaston on the 22nd of July.
That's the one that I'm going to come to because we have
good.
a boat. We have a
22nd?
boat ride.
Yeah,
on,
because we have my birthday.
Yeah,
My
on
birthday's
Thursday.
the
Oh, it's
13th.
on the
It's the
okay.
14th is the boat ride.
And
I
we
wish-
have women, wives that love opera, but of course their husbands, that's the last thing they want to do.
Really?
They just want
Men
to
don't
watch the
like it,
ball.
huh?
No, but then when they come and they see it's not overbearing, arias last maybe 4 minutes or so, 3-4 minutes, and then we're
Oh.
on to the next one. And so there's a
Oh.
little break and there's an intermission. And by the end of the evening, they'll tell their wives that they'll come again. And
Really?
Of
So
course,
that's
the wives are very happy about that.
Sure, an
yeah.
introduction to something new, and it's good for you as a couple. And people are now looking to get out again. So, what is your goal to keep growing every time you do
Yeah,
one?
well, we really want to create a network, a hub. We want to continue with what we're doing. And as I said, after the 2 years, that was a little tough.
Yes,
what we
being
did for
home.
1 year, we did these virtual concerts, which really didn't work as well. There's nothing like live music and being with people. So, we really want to create this network, not just for audience members and for singers themselves, and giving them the opportunity. You have, which there really isn't that much of an opportunity for singers. It's very competitive, and certainly if you want to find yourself performing in a theater in New York City, the likelihood of getting a role is very, very slim. So in order to hone your craft, I mean, isn't it a great thing to just learn a song and then be able to come out and have an audience and to have an accompanist, and all they have to do is just come out on stage and
wonderful.
have it right before them. So we really want to appeal not just for people who love opera and want to be in the audience, but also for the singers as well. There are many college graduates,
Right.
and we're giving them the performance opportunities.
So, are you working with some of the colleges?
Well, they know about us. I mean, a lot of the colleges also, they have their own program, obviously.
Right,
And
yes.
sometimes if you're actually in college, you may not even have time. Although if you're learning a song, by all means, come to us. And we've also had teenagers, and it was so good for them to have that experience of singing that then they later on decided to major in music. And now some of our singers are even they're directors as well. And
That's how
it's
it
just
happens,
great.
right? It just grows and
Exactly,
grows.
Exactly. And then a lot of times, certainly if, as it started, when we were in this open mic and we had singers come, they sort of felt like celebrities because they'd go shopping and all of a sudden somebody would stop them and say, "Oh, didn't I see you at opera night?" And so they felt very
So
important.
that's a nice following,
Sure,
too.
sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. So after the 2-year close down, it just feels good now to come back, and it's quite exciting.
So, did you let all your former people know? Do they know about it?
Well, we have a newsletter, and maybe at the end we'll give the website, and
Yes,
maybe
absolutely.
we'll have people, if they want to receive our newsletter. We have about 1,000 people that
So,
we send.
do they email you if they want to see
If
your
they-
newsletter?
Right, if they want to get on the newsletter list, yes.
Okay,
And
that's
then they'll,
good.
And usually we give performances about once a month. In this case, we have 2 going on.
Which is great. And the price
this
is
is gonna
right.
be every month?
yeah,
This is gonna be
we
every
want to
month?
make it affordable. Of course, we lose.
$15. This is a
It's
cheap
That's great. I
date.
like that.
Yeah, and actually in Northport, it's actually $10, and we're
Wow.
always losing money, but we want to make it accessible.
Greg's gonna treat me. That's for
Give
sure.
her so much credit because
So-
she works.
I could see
really
that.
hard.
Yes.
And she gives the seats away. She does.
Yeah, well,
because she
we know
wants-
about that.
Yeah, we
She
know about
wants
that,
to
for
teach
sure.
people how to come
And
and
enjoy it
and
for the
learn
first time,
that
right.
it's not so terrible and it's not only affordable to people who have a lot of money.
I call that the rich and the famous.
So we don't have to dress black
Not at all.
black
No,
tie.
no.
Okay.
No, no.
Well, we always dress.
Unless
Yeah,
you
we
sing
always do
someone
anyway.
unless you
Dungarees.
want to sing yourself.
There you go.
No,
Then you have to-
I'll
There you go,
pass.
Greg.
I'll pass.
We have a surprise. We
Yeah.
have something happening here,
Oh, okay.
and we have a beautiful, gorgeous blonde bringing it down to sing you a happy birthday.
Oh. room.
Look at him
Okay.
shocked. He's like, "What are you doing?" And we have a nice little audience here to sing. So there she comes. Well, this is great. I think a lot of people are probably saying a
Definitely,
lot of nice
definitely.
things on the.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I
comments
want
on
to
this?
thank everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's reading. He
Well,
can
yeah,
read a few
while
of
I'm
them.
giving a quick shout out, Kathy, thank you so much. She said she'll see us on Thursday. MDW 78.7 Radio, Power Radio. It's
wanna
it's
talk
the
to
number one
them.
freestyle radio. It really is.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Tammy, Fred, you're right. I remember Wagner on the helicopter scene in Apocalypse Now. Ed Sheen, looking forward to seeing you soon. Grace, you should have been here. I miss you. And she gave a big shout out. But
Happy
wow,
birthday,
thank
Greg.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
I like this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Greg.
There we go. Come on.
Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Very
thank you,
nice.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's always
Thank
a
you.
party on the Breakfast Club show.
Thank you,
Now,
thank
I
you.
was just mouthing this because I don't know if your audience hears.
Oh, they hear everything.
Oh, okay, so mouthing
So
was
it's
a
good.
good
It was
thing.
good.
I thought that our, diva would sing for us a
I don't
little.
sing anymore.
You really
No,
don't
you're
sing at
done,
all?
huh?
Not even in the shower?
No, I really don't. I haven't sung
gave
in
it
about
up.
10 years. Well, my husband was very sick, and I had
I'm
to
sorry to
take
hear
care of him. And I just decided, he was a conductor.
Uh-huh.
And I decided that I just couldn't do two things. I couldn't
Right.
take care of him and run around. You have to do a lot of traveling.
Sure.
And so I gave that up. So I never sang again because it
Really?
was
That's something.
it was very hard.
Yes, I get that.
Emotional and
yes.
everything like
You
that.
were attached through the singing.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, after 30
I
years.
always try to say to myself, how do you practice for opera? I mean, I know singers, a lot of times when they sing too much, you hurt the vocal cords, you need tea or whatever it is, but opera, it's like a consistent,
Yes.
long
Yes.
breathe. I mean, I know it's mostly it's a
Breathing?
breathing thing, and I know
It's-
there's a technique.
That's
and,
it. If you have the right technique and you
It's speaking of technique.
use it, if you use your technique, you don't have a problem in the world. It's people who don't have the right technique.
But what made you decide opera out of everything else to
My
sing?
husband. I hated opera, just like
So when did you
everybody
start?
else.
So when did you start? How old were you, if you don't mind me asking you?
I was in my late 20s when I started.
Wow, you
Really?
started young.
Yes.
You think that's young?
Oh,
Yeah, to be
And I
opera,
did not
yeah.
know music. I did not know languages. I hated opera. And he loved opera. I mean, he was like, I can't explain to you. He just adored music, and he loved opera. And he said to me, I wanted to get singing lessons for, not opera, but, Broadway stuff. I didn't want to sing on the stage. I mean, I had no thought of that. I just wanted it for myself. And he said, oh, well, okay. He said, and he was a voice builder. So he said, okay. He said, but you have to learn the Italian vowels in order to sing properly. He just gave me that because he knew that he was going to catch me. Because once you start in opera, it's like an addiction.
Really?
Yeah, it is. So he figured he'd addict me, which
And he did.
Yeah.
so it really
And they
is
were quite a
addictive.
team
It is.
because he was a conductor and
Right.
she was the prima donna. And for years, they you went through about quite a number of, well, you did a full production each year.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
at least one or two every year. A complete production with a large
Really?
orchestra.
Well, I love that you got the title prima donna. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's really
And,
nice.
but we did a lot of smaller productions. People just don't understand that it's so expensive to put on an opera. Because opera comprises music, dancing, singing, conductor, musicians of all kinds.
Sure, it's a lot of
and all of
people.
these people have to be paid. So it becomes a very expensive thing.
Right.
That's why I give her this great affection.
Yup,
Because
mhm.
she is so wonderful to do this. And she's not
Isabella.
a singer. She's not a
This is
singer.
great.
Fun, what do we give?
Yeah, you get bread, honey.
I
yeah.
get bread.
Yeah, everybody gets Italian bread.
Oh,
because
did
we
you bake
believe
this
in.
yourself?
Well, no, but we
I
believe
get
in
one
breaking
too?
bread.
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
Oh, nice.
We
Thank
break
you
bread.
so
All the
much.
people in my book, most of the people I met in my travels I broke bread with, and it's an Italian thing in my family.
Absolutely.
So I broke bread with Gregg right in the
That's
dry
right.
cleaners.
That's right.
We really did, to be
That's
honest
right.
with you.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
when is the next one? The first one is
So
this
the first
Thursday.
one is this Thursday. Then a week later, we're going to be in Douglaston.
Right, and we'll post that for you.
Yes, great.
Because you got to get me a new flyer for that.
Right,
one.
right, exactly. And we have some repeat singers, and then we have a few more. We're very welcoming. So again, if you have the love of singing, please come. Please come to see what we're about. And if you'd like to sing yourself, let us know.
And
Let
what
it
is
be
the
known.
website, and where do they send information?
Okay, well, the website is operanight.org. You can also find us on Facebook because we
Right.
as well have Opera Night Facebook. And just communicate with us. And we really perform all over Long Island. I know I'm saying Long Island.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
say
know,
it.
me too.
Yeah, I say it that way.
Have
So.
opera will travel.
Have
There's,
a-
there's
I
a friend.
like
There's a
that.
friend of ours, Grace, and she could sing. But you know what? And
Who
I
is
just
this,
never told her.
Grace?
She could just,
Grace?
yeah, she, you
You're
know,
going to tell her. Yeah.
she can, and she's watching now.
Oh,
Hi,
good.
Grace.
Gracie,
And
you got
have
to call me.
You have to hear her sing, but she sings everything. There's nothing that she
good.
can't sing. And I just never thought about it. I got to ask her, can she sing?
Absolutely.
And she has that voice. I swear to you, when I was sick, she turned around and she was singing me like a little lullaby every day. And, and
a doll.
I never forgot that. And thank you so much, love, for that.
Well,
Yeah, she's an
Meredith
actress, too.
from Channel 11, no, Channel 12 on Long Island.
Is she?
She's the weather.
Right, the weather
lady.
girl, okay,
Yeah,
yes.
and she sings beautiful.
Really?
So she's going to be one of the singers.
Oh,
Not
okay.
this time, but in the future, she's going
Oh,
to be
that's
one
great.
of the
That's
singers.
something.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep getting it out for you. We'll be posting,
Oh, good.
today.
Great.
And then you'll have it on, you're going to have this right on your live feed.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
That's
your
right.
friends are probably going to be shocked to see that you're out there again. And
Yeah, it's great to
I
know.
was very happy to meet your husband. He's very quiet. I was afraid that he thought, oh, this lady, she doesn't stop talking.
She's a lunatic? No. She's
But
crazy. She doesn't stop talking.
He's a nice balance.
very quiet.
Yes, he is.
But he
he's a-
takes
yeah.
everything in.
Yes, he does.
And you're here, so that must have meant that it went well, right?
Yes.
Does he sing?
No, he
Oh, does
doesn't
he
sing.
play any
well,
instruments?
he sings in sort of a garage band. He likes rock.
Okay.
He's a rock and roller.
Okay.
He's also a poet, and I think that's how we really met at a poetry reading.
Isn't that nice?
And
All right.
yeah, it's kind of the bringing together of the arts,
Yep,
which is
well, that's
what we
what
love.
it's all
yeah.
about.
See, Patrick sings to Valentina all the time.
Patrick sings to Valentina,
Oh,
yes.
is
That's
that right?
So funny that Patrick knows this lovely lady.
Yeah.
Before I even knew him. Isn't that a small world?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Patrick. I mean,
Everybody knows Patrick. He's a good man.
Actually, on St. Patrick's Day, I said to Patrick, where can we go to get corned beef and cabbage? Really, really good corned beef and cabbage. He said, go to Ben's Jewish Delicatessen. They got the best
Best.
roast corned
Corned
beef
beef.
and cabbage, the best.
Yeah, they
So
do
it's a
pretty
little
good, yeah.
reunion for you guys to say hi
Yes.
and all.
Yes.
Isn't that nice, really? So all I said to her was, she said, I know you. I'm like, well, I live in West Hempstead for a long time. Do you go to the diner? I'm like, yeah. Well, it clicked.
That's it.
And that's how I found out that she knew him. It's such a small world.
Yeah.
That
Love it.
diner is really great. Let me tell you, it really is.
We were there this morning.
Oh, were you?
Yes,
Okay.
we had breakfast there this morning.
I
It's
didn't
a
know
s-
that was the diner.
It's a special diner. Definitely
well,
is.
Yeah, it's Venus is it's a kind of a diner. Yeah. it
Well,
is.
whatever. But
Yeah.
it's not so much the ambience; it's the people.
The
Yeah,
people, it really
it's
is.
a
It's
very
the people.
home
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's right down the road. I
Coming
wanted
to
to
an end,
say,
right?
yes, we are. Alex Patton, thanks for watching. Christy Fox, Rebecca Gottleman, Mr. Douglas King. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. For everyone watching, thank you. Please share. And we won't have a show on Thursday because everybody is invited. But I got to tell you, seats are pretty limited right now. I didn't expect the turnout. That's gonna.
That's good.
So,
I
yeah,
have
it's
some
gonna be
you
a little
don't know about.
crazy. And Marguerite Welge, thank you, giving you a shout out. On the Thursday at 7 p.m. at Captain Lou's in Freeport. Please call, try and reserve. And
We're gonna have a
looking for-
hoot.
We're gonna have So it's the black and white. It was just all white before, but what happened was a lot of women have said, I'm not coming because I don't look good in white.
not
And I was
becoming,
like,
yeah.
so it's
Right.
the white and black. So you can wear whatever it is. Just,
it's
I
a
don't
lot
care
of
what
fun.
you wear. Wear something. Just come on board.
Just don't come naked.
You could actually do that too if you want.
I didn't say that, but you're more than welcome. You're still welcome, you know.
No, we have a great time every year. He throws some hell of a party on the boat.
Doreen also, they said they love, Doreen Steinberger says they loves you ladies very much. And again, thank you ladies so much. And we're looking forward to seeing everybody on Thursday. Thank you everyone here in the audience. Thank you for my birthday wishes. Thank you, Valentina. Give me a kiss. Mwah.
You have presents here. We'll do them later.
She does. This one never.
Look at
never-
this
yeah, never
handmade
stops.
sign, guys. I made
Never
it.
stop.
The tape's
Never
falling
stop.
off, but look at how cute it is.
that.
It matches your shirt.
Look at this. Only her. Only her. Yeah, she's an amazing woman.
And Patrick
And,
knows I was making noise at 3 o'clock in the morning with the tape. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm making Gregg a sign.
Oh my God! But again, ladies, thank you. Looking forward with the opera night, the one in Douglaston. I will definitely come to.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So we'll
all
definitely,
come.
yeah, we'll come. We'll all
Terrific.
come. And again, thank you. And I want to thank our sponsors, which Tranquility Spa just opened up a new one in Levittown.
Yeah,
And,
call the number 612-0808.
And Angela,
most
she's an
beautiful
amazing
place.
woman. She really is. She's so sweet. And then we have Oro Puro Gold, which is located on 1033 Hempstead Turnpike in Franklin Square for all your jewelry needs. And then you have the Prince of Taxes, Jackson Hewitt Taxes at 768 Hempstead Turnpike in Franklin Square. And am I missing anybody? No,
No.
I'm not.
And
And
we're
I
running
just
a
want to say
little
thank
late.
you so much, guys. And it's a